Hi, my name is Manoj Abhichandani, and I am going to present today's webinar on enhancements to our SMSF audit tool, the SMSF Online Audit. Some of you may not know me, but I have been in the self-managed super game for a while, almost 2 decades, and I have created this online tool to help other auditors to audit self-managed super fund. My aim has been to always speed up the audit process, and my vision is to automate the financial aspect of the audit and leave the discretion, that is the compliance audit, to each and every auditor. Now, to begin with my presentation, I want to show you what I'm going to discuss today. Our presentation today is going to be mostly revolving around how to roll over your audit evidence from 1 year to the next year, how you can purchase an audit pack if you've already purchased one. Let's say if you purchased 25, you've got 2 left, 2 audits to conduct. You earlier could not purchase another pack while you still had a credit, but now you will be able to do that. And we're going to talk about how you can roll over your audit evidence from previous year into the next year, and your comments can be copied from previous year. So if you're auditing say 2014 now, you can write comments in such a manner that they can be used for 2014 year. We have also uploaded the SMSF Association, previously known as SPA. They have come up with new logos. So if you are a member of SPA, then you will need to update your letterheads. So we have provided you with the 2 new logos. So the first up, we're going to talk about purchasing audit packs through our system. There's a new button which gives you the history of all purchases, and you'll be able to purchase packs while your pack has not exhausted, and you'll be able to store your credit card, and you'll be able to amend your credit card details so that the next time when you use your credit card, we use your amended or a new credit card. So to begin with the system, let's start with auditing a self-managed super fund. Now we are going to log into the demo account, and the demo account partner is of the firm, of the demo fund. The credentials are username partner@partner.com.au, and the password is partner. So if you want, you can log into your own account and you can work along with me and see how the new changes will affect the way you audit funds. So first up, we're going to talk about how in this block of investments on how you can purchase new packs. As you can see, we are using a promo code. We have not purchased a pack, but we can see that 26 out of 100 has been used. So if I wanted to buy another 100, so I will have 126 left, and then it will show me 200 out here. So we have a new button, and it says package history, and it will show you a table of all the various times which you have purchased, on the date of purchase, how many funds you purchased, and what you paid for the package price. So if you wanted to add more package to your existing credits, all you have to do is you have to click on the purchase package. Then you can decide which one you want. Let's say you have decided to buy 100 pack. You go then to the payment page. Now we have changed this payment page a little bit. All we have added is a tick box where you can store your credit card details, and these credit card details are not stored with us. These are stored with Securepay. It's an Australia Post website, and we use them as our payment gateway, and between the bank and which is NAB and Securepay, the information of your credit card is stored with them. We don't store any credit card details. We're not allowed to store any credit card details. And this is what you will see not only in websites called trustdeed.com.au, but other websites where you buy often from the same website. I'm thinking of maybe your internet service provider, your ISP will request you to store your credit card so that they can bill you monthly and debit your credit card on a monthly basis. So at this point of time, we are not going to enter any credit card, and all I'm going to show you is that if you decide to change your credit card and you want to use a different credit card, you can manage your credit card in the firm details. You click firm details and go into a new icon, new page, credit card, and you enter your new card information. You enter your new credit card information. Your old credit card would be displayed there, so you overwrite on it and then you save your new credit card details, so the next time your new credit card will be debited by us. Now at the same token, I'm on the admin page, so we have changed another item on the admin page, which is your SPA logo. So if you are a SPA member, you will have to go in the firm details page and you will see that there are two new logos which have been provided to us by SPA. We also know that Chartered Accountancy is merging with the Australian Chartered Accountants are merging with the New Zealand ones. The logo is still not official. Once we hear that it's official, we will be updating our Chartered Accountants logo. So all you have to do is it'll be unticked for you at the moment, so you tick whichever one applies to you. If you are only SMSF specialist auditor, then you will need to tick the one box, but if you have both the qualification, the auditor and the specialist, like I do, you will be picking this logo. And if you want to see how the logo will look on your letterhead, you can preview your letterhead here. So after you've selected the correct logo, you have to save and exit, which we are not going to do today. So we will go back, we'll cancel out of here, and we will go back to our SMSF Audit Manager, which is your dashboard. Okay, so we now need to discuss about how you can roll over audit evidences. You must understand there are two types of documents which we request the accountant to upload. One is the permanent documents which get rolled over 1 year after the other, and the other are the audit evidence for each year. So if you're auditing 2013, you'll have bank statements, you'll have dividend statements, you will have financial statements, you'll have expenses, the whole lot, contributions. So some of these documents, let's say share purchase, contract notes, you may want to carry forward, you may want to roll over into the new year. So I'm going to show you, we have added a new column for these rollovers, and one thing more which we will roll over automatically is once the audit is complete, you issue a management letter and you issue audit report, which can be accessed in any way. So if you have already issued an audit report for, let's say, a fund, you can go back into that fund and you can download your audit report from the previous year document. So what we have done is, if you were to audit the same fund again, instead of heading towards the last year audited documentation, if you are in the fund, then we have appended the audit report which you issued last year, the management report which you issued last year, in the audit evidence of the current year. Now let's take up a fund and we can start looking into the various things which can be rolled over. So for today we're going to use a fund called testing fund, and I've done some of the work here, so I'm just going to go back into that fund. So you will notice that some documents have been uploaded which are permanent documents, and there are some documents which are uploaded which are audit evidence for the fund. So the new two columns which have been added is the date when the accountant uploads. As you can see that I've uploaded these documents today, so the date appears in today's date, and you will see that there is another column like it's called a rollover of documents. So if I tick a box here, these documents will be rolled over. Now, just to talk a little bit about, just to let you know a little bit more about putting a date stamp on the documents. So even if the auditor wanted to upload a document, he will be able to pick a date, and that date will stick to the document which has been uploaded by the auditor. And this facility, like I said, is available to the trustee and is available to the accountant. Another thing which has been added is an Excel export. So if the accountant wants to keep a record of what was supplied to the auditor, he can export all the documents in an Excel format and keep a record of when these documents were uploaded and what was actually provided to the auditor. So we see that there's limited usage, but some accountants may like to see what was actually provided to the auditor. So let's have a look at what we want to roll over. So we have been provided with financial statements for the year which is under audit. I want to see the comparatives for next year, so I'd like to roll over this document. But I like to roll it over as previous year's financial statements. I like to roll over this year's current year's, which is 2013 income tax return, and maybe I like to see the buy and sell contract notes. So all I have to do is I have to tick the boxes of what I want to roll over, and once I get into the new year, I will be able to copy all or roll over all those documents which I have ticked. Now the other things which you can copy from previous year is the formulation of audit plan. As you know, we have about 610 questions in our checklist, and depending on the nature of the fund, whether it has listed shares or term deposits or managed funds, we select the questions from from our data bank of 610 questions. So let's say this fund also has managed funds, and we have also ticked that we have received contributions, and this fund is also paying a transition to retirement pension. So what the system will do is the various questions which are, or checklist questions which are relating to these issues, have been incorporated in the balance sheet, in the operating statement, income tax member statement, and the compliance check of this fund. So once we have inserted comments, those comments can actually be rolled over next year. So if I'm auditing 2013, I'll be very careful on what comments I put in, because if I can put a comment, I can use it next year, then I don't have to type all those comments again into my working papers. Now comments could be of various type. I'm going into scoping of the audit, and I'm looking at my independent assessment, and I've put a comment there and I've said Manoj notes 1. So what we need to do is these notes I want to carry forward next year, and I want these notes to remain with me in my 2014's audit. So let me just jump back into formulate an audit plan and mark the audit plan also complete, and I will move then to the balance sheet. Now in my balance sheet I can put notes to the tab. So every tab has a separate notes section, and I've put Manoj notes 2 there, and then every question has a comment box, and I've put some comments here, and I've said Manoj notes 3. Now these are the comments which I want to roll over into next year. So whatever and however I answer these comments, if I roll them over next year, it will help me to speed up my audit, and it will help me to personalize my audit working papers in such a manner that my documents will be a bit more personalized towards this fund. So going back into the fund, I also have some shares. So in 2013, I can put the closing prices. So whatever shares the fund owns, we can roll over the quantity. So we know that we have ANZ 100 shares, BHP 200 shares, CBA 300 shares, and the price of CBA was $69 in 2013. So without putting too much effort into checking closing prices, if I am able to roll over these figures, and if the super fund continues to own the same shares, and if the system had the new prices, then basically my financial audit in the balance sheet would be more or less done. Now the next enhancement what we are putting in is that we also will have new columns for the purchase price of these shares, and if we know the closing prices, we'll also give you what is the change in market value, and there'll be another column, the date when the share was sold, and once we know when they were purchased, at what price, we can also tell you what is the discount amount and what is the capital gain on the sale of shares. So that's coming in the next enhancement. So let's look at how we will close this fund. So going into finalizing the audit, we know that we need to download the working papers so that we know who has reviewed the working papers. The Australian auditing standards require that before completion of any audit, the audit should be reviewed. So you as soon as you download, the system understands that the audit partner was the one who clicked this button. So whosoever clicks this button will be the person who actually reviewed the report, who reviewed the complete audit, and once the review is finished, we can mark the audit complete. Now all we are interested in today is the independent auditor's report, and we are interested in the management letter because we want it to be appended in our next year's audit. So before we proceed, I just want to show you that these are the documents which we are having in the audit working papers, and this is the current year audit, and the document which we want to roll over is the buy and sell shares into the next year. Now we are more or less ready to complete the audit, and we push the finished button. Now what the system is doing is basically creating all the reports for us. It's sending an email to the accountant and to the trustee, if the trustee is also hooked onto it, and sending all the documents which are created. Now on this page, we request you, if you think that the system needs to improve any further, if you can put in some testimonials, whatever you don't like or whatever you want the system to do, we'll make sure that we add that. But if you want to put in some good comments, we'll really appreciate that. And you will be consenting to publish your name and your comment on the website. It really helps us because when newcomers come to the website, they see so many people are using the website and they're putting good comments on it, and they really appreciate the system which we have created. So it helps us to increase our sales, and hopefully one day we'll be able to reduce our prices further. Right, now our audit is complete, so we can now go back to the audit manager, and on the audit manager we'll see the testing fund. The audit for 2013 is complete. Now if you want, you can click on the previous year's reports, and you can actually download all the documents which you have actually created, your audit report, your management letter, and all your working papers. So to download them, you can see them, but you'll have to come out of the audit of 2014 and look at these reports and then go back in. So what we have done is, instead of being able to, which you can in any case, come here and look at your audit report, you can, within the audit itself, you will be able to see any comments or any qualifications you have made in the audit report. So let's have a look at the management letter. So if you have put any comments to the trustee of the management letter in the management letter, so if you are auditing 2014, you want to make sure that those things have been fixed by the trustees. So one more thing we want to we have changed is that if 2013 has been completed and the testing fund, if you haven't commenced 2014, you can open 2013 at any time. So you can still open it and you can change your comments, or you can do whatever you like. But once you start 2014, the following year, we close the table, and once the table is closed, you cannot open it in any which way. So make sure that before you commence 2014, so we were in the testing fund, so before you start the next year's audit, you make sure that 2013 is basically complete. So now let's try and look at the audit of 2014, and we'll try and copy our comments from previous year, and we'll see what the automatic rollover has done for us. So to commence the audit, we need to click on Audit 2014 now, and this is the warning that you must have completed 2013. Even in the auditing standards, if you look at it, that before you commence an audit of a fund in the new year, you're supposed to see whether the previous year's subsequent events are there or were noted by the previous auditor. You have reviewed the management letter of the previous year, you've reviewed the audit reports, and you're totally satisfied that that year is actually complete before you begin your new year. So if you say yes, you will move into the new year, and the system will tell you how many are left, how many purchased packs are left, and you know that you can always go back and buy new packs. It just keeps a count on. We had 26, but now we have 20. We have used up 7. So what we have rolled over is from previous year. This is an automatic rollover. So if you had any shares last year, we have rolled over into the new year, and automatically it will check the closing prices for the current year, which is 2014. Now in 2013 we did not have any dividends, so this is more or less irrelevant, but for 2014 to 2015, if you enter any items in the dividend statements, in the dividend checking, so we will roll over automatically all the dividends from 2014 into the 2015 year. We have rolled over the financial statements, we rolled over the tax return because that is what was ticked, and then we also have put in place the audit report which was issued by you into the audit evidence folder, and also the management letter which you issued. Now this bit happens automatically for you because this is what you have wanted. You wanted to roll over into next year. Now what is optional is that the notes you put, so this is optional and you have to click this button, and what you can copy from previous year is your notes to any tabs, your selection to the tab B, formulate an audit plan, and any comments which you have made in the working papers file. So let's close here and see what has actually happened. So if you see here, we had a comment on the independence assessment, so you can see that it's not yet been copied, it's not yet been rolled over, and in formulate an audit plan, you will see that nothing has been selected. So it's like a fresh audit, you're just starting from scratch, and you're trying to complete a total brand new audit, and it can take you a little bit longer. So nothing has been selected, so you'll have to go through the financial statements. If you are auditing 100 200 funds, it could be quite painful to go through each and every fund and see what's in there. I mean, if nothing is if you do copy, and if the fund did not borrow last year, you can always tick the borrowing checklist and it will always come up. But usually we have noticed that if you had shares last year, you would have shares this year as well. And none of the comments have been copied till now, because we've kept it as optional. So the question 1.1 is different because nothing has been selected in formulate an audit plan. Okay, so what has actually rolled over is, we know that permanent documents always roll over, so we still have the trust deed and the investment strategy. But what has actually rolled over is the financial statements, and that's what we wanted. So what we have done is, the previous years were current years, but this year they become the previous year, but the description still remains the same. So you need to go and change the description and say these are the financial statements of previous year and not the current year. So I'm just going to quickly make that comment, change the comment, and I can save it. The same way the income tax return, it has gone into the correct title, it's gone into the correct box, but it has gone in as if it's current year. So what we need to do is, we need to mark it that this is not for the current year, but it is for the previous year. So once that is done, then you know that these documents will remain with you in the current year audit, and you don't have to go out of the fund and download from previous year's audit evidence. These evidences are with you, and if you have checked from last year, you'll see that they will come out with a green background in any case. Now these are the audit reports, these are the reports which you issued. This is the management letter, and this is the management letter of last year, which is automatically come in. So this management letter is what we downloaded. So this management letter still remains with us, and this is for the previous year, for 2013 year, which was signed by you. And the audit report, if there are any contraventions in the fund. So it's very easy, they're readily available to you. And we also wanted the buy and sell notes, because we would need it in our current year's audit. Now again, they can be exported into Excel, or if you want, you can add more documents. And you will see that if you have put a checkbox, all of them will have a green background. And if new documents have been uploaded, they would have a white background. So it's one way of checking that these documents have been uploaded last year. But another way of checking documents were uploaded last year is by the date of when they were uploaded. So if there are new documents uploaded by the accountant, then obviously they'll have a newer date. So these dates are the older dates when these documents were actually uploaded into the system. Okay, now let's try and copy our comments from previous year. So I'm going to click this button, and the system will ask me for my password. The reason why we're doing that is because we want to keep a tab on who's doing what. Very soon we will have a dashboard, and the partner would be able to see on the dashboard of what's happening in the whole account, his whole account. I mean, if you were a large firm, let's say if you had a couple of thousand audits, you had 3-4 auditors working for you, you had 5 or 6 staff working for you. So the dashboard will tell you which fund was started, which fund was finished, and what comments were made, and who copied from previous year. Everything would be available to you in your dashboard. We are still working on it. I must this whatever enhancement you're seeing now took us about 4 weeks. It's not the enhancement which takes the time, it is actually testing that the enhancement has worked properly according to what you thought, which takes you longer time. So this enhancement took us about 3 weeks, but then it was 2 weeks of testing, and here we are. So once we click the copy button, so what the copy button does is basically copies the notes from tab A to tab G. I'm talking about tab notes, which are these notes, and it will tick the options in formulate an audit plan, the checklist, what the fund has, and comments which are made in the working papers. Now, once I say close, the system will refresh itself, so it will blink for a moment, and what it's doing is bringing the tables forward. So whatever the comments were, it's actually bringing it into the current year. So we are now into the 2014 year, and you will notice that whatever is in the fund has been ticked. We ticked 5 things, and if you remember, we said that the fund was receiving contributions and it was paying a transition to retirement pension. So we could simply complete, or we could mark it as complete, and we can then see whether the other comments have rolled over from previous year or not. If you remember, in the scope of the audit, we had in the independence audit pertinent comment, so we want to check whether that's been rolled over or not. I think you would be checking the rollover once or twice, but then very soon you'll be trusting the system that it actually does. So the notes have come in, the tab notes have come in, so we can mark tab A complete, or if you want, you can put in further notes. And let's move on to tab C in the balance sheet, where we put some audit notes. So we have to mark tab B complete to move to tab C, and in tab C we put some audit notes, and they have carried forward from previous year, and we put some comments in question 1.1. You will see they have also come through. So if you are currently auditing 2014, and if you are a little bit candid and you know what you're doing, if your comments are of that nature, which can be used forever for this fund, you can personalize them, and you can write the name of the accounts and things like that. And just maybe you want to check the, if you want to put each account is in the name in the trustee of the super fund, you might like to write the name of the trustee of the super fund, check account number so and so, so and so. So you may have 3 or 4 accounts, and those notes will be good enough for not only for 2014 audit, but they will also be good enough for the next year's audit. Obviously, it will require your checking. Now, we have checked that all the comments were copied from previous year to the current year, and what we want to now check is the shares. We just go. Usually, I prefer, there are 2-3 ways on how you can access your share table. You can click in the tab, or you can click in the audit tools, or you can go to the question itself and you can access it from there. So it just depends on which part you are on, but you still end up in the same place. Okay, so CBA was, I think, $69. Sorry, I don't recall, but whatever the figure was, now we have the new figure, so it's $80 now, and we have 100, 200, and 300 shares. Now, if the quantity has changed, it's very simple. Just change the quantity. If we have sold more or bought more, and on 30th of June we've got more shares, so we've just changed the quantity. Now the new figure matches your balance sheet figure, so it's very simple to change anything. And if we save and exit, then we can have a look at how the dividend statement looks like. So again, accessing the dividend statement, we can either go directly in the audit tab, or we can go through the operating statement. So this time we'll just quickly go into the audit report, and we can see that instead of the 300 shares which we had of CBA, now we have 400 shares. But maybe the 100 shares were purchased after the first dividend. So what we have done is we have fed in the dividend for each and every listed share and managed fund into the system, and you can see that ANZ paid dividends. You can check them on the ASX website, or you can check on the ANZ website or HIN numbers or whatever, that the fully franked dividends were paid on certain days. The same thing is for Commonwealth Bank. But like I said, it's possible that when we received the first dividend in CBA, we had only 300 shares, so we can just change it. So at the moment it's 2188, but when we received the first dividend, we had only 300 shares, and now we have. So you can see that the figure has changed to 1902. Now it's also possible that the fund would have opted for dividend reinvestment plan in this year. So what you can do is, in the first year we received dividends on 210 funds, and then in the second time, when we receive the dividends, maybe we receive dividends on 220 shares. Earlier on the figure was 368. As soon as I okay it, so it will be the 387. So if I was the auditor, if I was rolling over from previous year, if I saw this figure was matching the operating statement, then I'll be pretty much happy with the result, and we'll move on. Now in the future, what we are doing is, if you give us the rental income, so let's say in 2013 the super fund had a unit, and the unit was earning $500 a week, so it had $26,000 rental income. So what we are going to do is, we're going to give you a figure, because you've already entered the rental of last year, so we'll give you a figure that the rent should be between $26,000 and $28,000, and if it is in there reach, then according to the standard deviation, rents go up by about 3 to 5%, so you should be pretty much satisfied, instead of checking each and every rental statement from the broker, from the real estate agent, whether the fund has received all the money or not. But if you don't see it between 26 to 28,000, there has to be a reason. That is, maybe the unit was empty, or it was used by someone who did not pay the rent. So it's just a variance analysis. It's just for sampling, checking. It's just to let you know that the financial audit can be done more or less by the system, instead of spending time on it. It's my great desire that I automate most of the items, the checking of most of the items by a machine, and there are certain things which you will never be able to do, or I'll never be able to do. Is, so let's say the fund lent money to somebody, lent money to a company. Now we can measure the interest which we received from that company. We can measure lots of things financially, but we'll never be able to measure whether that company is a related party or not. So that discretion, that choice, that decision making will always lie with the auditor, and I don't think that can ever be replaced. So if the question was asked, can a machine replace a human in Superfund audit, and I think that can never happen. Well, it's possible, because if I entered all the companies which were related to all the 4 members, and if you look at the Part 8 associates, I mean, there could be a loan to nieces and nephews and things like that. If I entered all the data and I said, I put in that there's a loan to so-and-so, and then it's possible that, I'll have to enter date of birth of each and every related party. So, I mean, if I'm looking only in my family, there could be 30 or 40 people who could be my Part 8 associates. So if I entered their name and their date of birth and their addresses, then it is possible for the machine to find out whether the loan from my super fund is to a related party or not. Now there are 4 members in the fund, and if I entered maybe 200 or 300 phone numbers, addresses, date of birth, addresses, and the names, then possibly a machine can determine. So I don't think we'll ever go to that extent, although we could automate the compliance as well, but I don't think it will be really worthwhile to actually go that far as far as automation is concerned. It's impossible nowadays to get a firm information on any item. So usually Superfund auditors, what they do is they get a declaration that this loan is not to a related party, or it is in the trustee representation letter that no loans have been made to a related party, and that would more or less comply the duties put in by Section 129 of the SIS Act on the auditor. So this way what we have been able to do is copy from previous year, comments made, copy the checklist, the various notes which we made in the previous year. We've also been able to buy audit packs from this year to last year, and we have been able to roll over the new the audit evidence into the new year. There's a new column, like I said, from the audit evidence. So there's so many changes made to the system, and I think you should really speed up your audit by using these functions. So if you issued an audit report, that would be incorporated automatically into the new year. The closing share prices will move into the new year, and you'll be able to know which documents are new, which documents are old by the date of the document, and you'll be able to export the audit evidence into the new year. By copying the comments, you can change your audit plan as per last year. You can add, into the new year if you wanted to. And the comments made in the checklist, each checklist, each question, like if you had 30 or 40 questions, you already answered. So you can really speed up your audit. And the tab notes are very good if you have staff members, And we now know that there are two new logos which can be used. So if you wanted to change anything in the current year's audit, it's very simple. All you do is go into the tab B, the audit plan, and you choose whatever is new into the fund which has happened in the current year, which was not there, or something. Maybe all the shares have been sold, so you just remove it, or all the managed funds have been sold, so you just remove it. So it's very easy to change. Thank you for listening, and your comments are very valuable to us. If you want to tell us on how we can improve the system better, you can email it to sales@trustdeed.com.au or sales@OnlineSMSFAudit.com.au. Your patience is really appreciated, and we'll see you, we'll hear from you, and keep on coming back to this YouTube channel, and you will see all the updates. We are updating our website, so all these enhancements videos will very soon be available on our website. Thank you. Bye for now.